Oh, this is a crazy. If this is the story I'm thinking of, it's a crazy one. But hold on. So here's some additional stuff to talk about. Number one, I have officially outlived Vice Media, which is kind of crazy because I was at the Young Turks when Vice Media was sold to Rupert Murdoch for a whopping, like, I think it was the valuation originally was like $1 billion. At the time, I thought, oh my God, like, this is such a fucking ridiculous expense. Stop adding Vice. Stop saying smoking on that Vice pack. A lot of wonderful people work there, okay? I know a lot of people that work there. There were some sick people that worked there. Sure, did some of them write about how, maybe Saudi needs to do worse stuff in Yemen? Yes. Okay. But like, ultimately, a group of Vice lenders set to purchase the embattled company's assets for $225 million and take on significant liabilities listed at $500 million to $1 billion, according to a filing in the New York Times federal court. I was there. I know a secret. What is that? The secret is that Shane Smith made out like a fucking bandit, dude. Fuck all those journalists, Vice the fucking CIA op. No, just like every other journalism outlet, there's like good journalists and shitty ones. Oh. I was there when Vice was originally sold to Rupert Murdoch. Okay, I think it was like what 5% for a couple $100 million. Here it is. This is when I first started. This is literally when I first started at the Young Turks. Rupert Murdoch firm dips into hipster's Bible with 70 million stake in Vice. 5% stake sold to Rupert Murdoch's 21st Century Fox, allowing it to expand into Europe and India. Then, after that, they hyped it up like crazy. They hyped it up like fucking crazy. These guys that basically made, documentaries about doing crocodile in Russia and shit like that got a $70 million, sold 5% for $70 million. It bumped their valuation up dramatically. Okay. It made them more expensive than the New York Times. And for years and years, they basically kept that hype going because this is how it always works. You get a larger buyer to tap in, and then they have to stay. Their reputation is on the line as well, so they have to legitimize. They have to legitimize your existence. And that's precisely what they did. Back then, I was doing advertisement sales and operations. So obviously, like, I was paying close attention to this stuff. I was seeing their advice, product being marketed at every one of these fucking seminars that I had to go to. And yeah, we all watched Succession. What? The fuck? I'm talking about the real life experiences that I had at the time. When I was doing ad ops. Vice threw a keg W and then a where. Damn, Vice. Anyway, yes, Succession is good TV because it takes a lot from the real world. And this is the real world example of what Succession was doing. My point is, Rupert Murdoch bought this at the time. We in the media, in the digital space, thought that this was a ridiculous number. Like, we couldn't imagine it. And I was very jealous at the time, too, because Vice was so cool and the Young Turks was not. And the Young Turks remained not cool, obviously. But at the time, I was very jealous that they were getting so much recognition. Okay? So much fucking recognition. I despised Shane Smith because I thought he was a charlatan and a grifter. So much shade law. Yeah, I mean, so you saw it coming, so much shade law? Of course I saw it coming. This has been propped up by Rupert Murdoch. Vice's valuation and Vice's bona fides have been propped up by Rupert Murdoch for the past 10 years, man. It was a decade-long con. They bought into it because they were dumb and they thought this would make them cool and hip and expand their digital properties. Then they realized, oh my God, an entire brand that's like reliant on looking cool and being cool is not always going to be cool, especially if they are under the 21st Century Fox umbrella. You can't be an edgy, cool media company if you're valued at $1 billion after Rupert Murdoch bought a $70 million stake. And that's precisely what happened. They were at the forefront of the Williamsburg hipster movement. And the only guy that won in this entire thing was Shane Smith. He exited, I think it was after the Disney acquisition too, because Disney also pumped a shitload into Vice, right? So many other brands tapped in and offered so much money to Vice. In 2019, Disney had put more than $400 million into Vice Media. Now it says that investment is worthless. A now familiar story. Investors say they overhauled a high-flying digital publisher. The amount of money that these fucking idiots in the corporate world give to a company that it presents itself as cool and as what the youth are listening to and the youth are looking at is unimaginable. Okay? Vice is still worth something in some investors' eyes. Last week, a group of lenders said they put a fresh round of $250 million into the company. But Disney's accounting decision is yet another example, perhaps the most stunning one, of the turnabout we've seen in digital media over the last few years. I basically came to exist in the digital space at a time when all of these legacy publishers were desperate to revitalize their brand and completely oblivious to how the digital world worked. Disney also made a similar idiotic, unwise investment into Maker, a MCN that no longer exists, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. Does it still exist? Maker was literally across the street from me. I know a lot of people that work there. Maker as a multi-channel network was created by a bunch of YouTubers. Basically, all that happened in this circumstance. Mike was another one. Mike, which raised more than $60 million, sold for less than $5 million last year. I remember going into Mike's office on one World Trade Center and thinking, "Wow, these guys sure spent a lot of fucking money on dumbass shit." Mashable, which was valued at about $250 million in 2016, sold for less than $50 million in 2017. Properties formerly known as Gawker Media plus The Onion and other sites just sold for a price likely well below $50 million. Univision, the TV conglomerate which sold them off, had paid $135 million for the Gawker sites alone in 2016. The only reason why I pre-watched that shit back then is because I was in the industry and I knew that there was no way that they were making money. And yet these guys were buying into it because they thought it would revitalize their brand and probably improve their digital media assets, which it didn't. It fucking didn't. Of course it didn't. BuzzFeed is another prime example of this as well. Every single media company that has been that started off, that fucking fell into a disastrous amount of nothingness, started off with like a lot of people who were doughy-eyed and thought that they were going to make a revolutionary change in the digital sphere, realized that they can't keep up with the capitalist demands for output, sold it off and made out like a fucking bandit. Okay? They did. They sold it and they made out like fucking bandits. Shane Smith being one, and all the other like owners of Maker at the time being others. Okay? Because instead, Facebook and Google have hoovered up the majority of digital ad revenue, the money new publishers expected to get once they reach scale. And publishers that had expected Facebook and Google to rely on them for content have learned that Facebook and Google don't really need them after all. That's a big part of the reason. Because, yes, Facebook and Google don't give a fuck. They don't need you. Everyone has to use them. So we need them because they're a monopoly. Here are the Disney and Vice particulars. Disney told investors Wednesday it wiped out $353 million of the money it had previously put into Vice. That followed an announcement last fall that Disney had knocked down the value of its Vice investment by $157 million. Disney describes the $353 million impairment charge it took on Vice as a write-off, which in accounting speak means there's nothing left to get rid of it after this. It's all gone. In any case, Vice is certainly worth much less than Disney and many other big sophisticated media companies thought quite recently. And I remember people were literally talking about how like Vice is better and bigger than New York Times. You know what I mean? Yeah, where are those people now? What happened? Vice, a beleaguered avatar of new media, hangs a for sale sign. This was back in January 20th, 2023. After Vice Media secured a new round of financing in 2017 that valued the company at $5.7 billion, Shane Smith, one of his founders, teased the potential for hockey stick growth and sexy stock market debut. But that once grandiose talk at Vice has run into reality. The company, which has undergone several rounds of staff cuts in recent years, is putting itself up for sale in a rocky media market. Nancy Dubik, the chief executive hired in 2018 to replace Mr. Schiff after a reckoning over workplace sexual harassment, said that the company had turned a corner and that she and the company's investors had decided to sell the company that could help it grow. We tend to be a little bit more public than most because of the curiosities and palace intrigue, but I'm going to get a job done and we have a job to do and I intend to do it. Yeah. It started off as a government-funded punk magazine in Canada, by the way, for the record. I think through like... what was it like? What is its ties to like Nigeria? It's in Canada, but I'm pretty sure it was like originally like a Nigerian tourism magazine or something in Canada. No, literally, they were a government funded like through the arts or through tourism. Gavin McGinnis was one of the founders alongside Shane Smith. It was a magazine about Montreal street scenes. No, before then. Like its origination, I think, was like, well, it was also free. Yeah, it was a Zine. It was a free Zine. I remember because I used to be like a. I mean, look, I used to be a fan of Vice. And anyway, before it was known as Vice, for the record, it was a zine, whatever. But yeah, it was free because it was funded by here. Founded in 1993 in Montreal as Voice of Montreal by Alex Laurent, Dominique Olivier as an alternative punk magazine. The founders hired Sarosh Alvi as the editor, Shane Smith as a sales rep, and Gavin McGinnis as a cartoonist. After stealing the magazine from Alex Laurent, Shane and Gavin later launched a youth media company, Vice Media, which consists of divisions including print and magazine. I thought it was before then. I thought there was something even before then. It was like before it was what is it, Voice of Montreal, but maybe not. Maybe I'm misremembering. They got money from the Canadian government as it was an English paper in Quebec. Oui, oui. Oui, oui. Yeah, see, the magazine was launched in 1994 as the Voice of Montreal as with the Quebec Welfare Grant. The intention of the founders was to provide work and the community service. When the editors later sought to dissolve their commitments with the original publisher, Alex Laurent, they brought him out and changed the name to Vice in 1996. Tabernac. Richard Sovilinski, a Canadian software millionaire, acquired the magazine and relocated the operation in New York City in the late 1990s. Following the relocation, the magazine quickly developed a reputation for provocative and politically incorrect content. Yeah. And customers could purchase fashion items that were advertised in the magazine. However, due to the end of the dot-com bubble, the three founders eventually regained ownership of the Vice brand, followed by the closure of the stores. Gavin McInnes left in 2008. And then at the commencement of 2012, an article in Forbes magazine referred to the Vice as Vice Media. Vice acquired a fashion magazine ID in December 2012, and by February 2013, Vice produced 24 global editions of the magazine. I wonder if I have some of the older ones that I used to pick them up for free. But yeah. They had a fun little YouTube page that I'm sure many of you have seen. I'm sure you've watched many of the YouTube videos, like their OG documentaries, travel guides, do's and don'ts, things of that nature. One of the funniest, like, we used to have a meme at the Young Turks office, me and this other producer. We would just like yell out article titles that were fucking insane and then go Voice, which ironically in a situation where like they like we would just be like, we got I don't know, we got hipsters in Ghana to dumpster dive for crocodile Voice, like that sort of shit, you know what I mean? And it used to be like a joke that ketamine horse traders, like that kind of shit. Exactly. And then Bill Hader did that joke. Actually, the El Chingon. You know what I mean? That was awesome. Drones, I think. The documentary Now Parody is still one of the greatest, in my opinion.
The world is nuts. No one knows what's going to happen next. But whatever goes down, we'll be there, keeping a close eye on all the madness. This is the world of drones.
This is a Vice parody from IFC. It was perfect.
Hi, I'm Jameson Friend. We're here in the drones offices in Brooklyn, New York, where our staff is working hard to bring you the real news of today's world. For this week's story, we go to Juarez, Mexico, where the war on drugs has turned this once beautiful city into the deadliest place on earth.
Wait, I want to watch the rest of it. El Chingon! I like that Vice promoted it too. Let me see if I can find it. Oh yeah, the hunt for El Chingon.
Documentary now.
Murder.
Kidnappings.
Murder.
A broken system. Mexicans.
Ciudad Juarez. It's the city most closely associated with the Mexican drug.
It's so good. This was so fucking good, dude. Mexicans.
To have this once beautiful city become the drug capital of the world?
Time for a little geography lesson.
Mexico is directly south of America, which means it shares a border with the United States. And what goes over that border? Drugs.
Is that sinking in yet, America?
This is happening in your backyard.
In Juarez, the drug game is headed by the Salvez cartel, which is run by this man, El Chigon. He's killed thousands and made millions, but he left a big mess in the process. We decided to hit the streets and ask the locals what they could tell us about this modern-day Mexican Scarface.
Have you guys seen El Chigon? El Chigon?
Por aquí con una cámara de esas. Muy peligroso.
He's saying it's dangerous to have a camera. All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, whatever, bro.
Es vatos maricones.
They're fans. Hey, thanks, man.
Unfortunately for us, most were too paralyzed by fear to speak up.
She's clearly afraid of something, man. Tell us your story. Are you afraid?
She might be asleep.
El Chigon!
Finally, through social media, we met someone brave enough to talk.
Buenas tardes.
Hey, hi.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
Manuel Bautista has lived in Juarez his whole life. Last year, his son Felipe was kidnapped by the cartel.
Talk to us about it?
Okay.
He invited us into his humble hacienda to tell us a tale.
We're going into his home right now.
Hacienda.
And just a warning, the poverty you're about to see may be disturbing to your first world sensibilities.
First generation PlayStation.
Look at that.
Whoa.
Your dog's a chicken.
Just to give you an idea of the size.
It just ripped them so well. I mean, this is the vibe overall of a Vice documentary. Like, it's always like some fucking Brooklyn hipster that they send to some like war-torn part of the country. And then they're like, wow, it's crazy. That like greatly, flub the investigation part. And often will like hyper focus on like silly sensationalist parts. I can't remember if this was actually from the drones like parody or if it actually was something that happened in the real world. Wasn't there a conversation? Wasn't there literally a conversation where like they were shitting on CNN and it's like investigative reporting? And the guy was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Of course we're in like all of those countries that you're talking about. Like, and then the Vice guys were like, well, we've never seen them. We've never seen your videos. Fuck, what was it? God damn it. Was it actually from this or was it that wasn't a real documentary, I think. That was a real thing that happened.
Size of everything, just so you can get the scale. I want to show you guys that this is how far my arms extend in a hallway in a home where someone is raising their family.
It's like a family portrait. Like, look how sad this is.
Wow, this is how people live. You know, they make do with what they can.
This kid's probably a drug.
Yeah, oh, here it is. Here it is. Page 1, David Carr confronts Vice.
Guys, hi.
This is David Carr from the New York Times.
Don't keep saying I'm from the New York Times. That sucks. I'm just, it's me.
David, it's nice to meet you from
Hi, David.
Very nice.
Hi, nice to meet you. How are you?
We wanted to get everyone together to do a company-wide update. The media landscape is changing in really dramatic ways in just 6 months. So print, as an industry and a medium, continues to nosedive. Publications like Newsweek and Times.
Their mistake was literally not running 3-minute ads at the top of the hour, which is what I do, and that's why Undefeated at the top of the fucking hour, where we get a 3-minute ad break. But of course, if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe, which you can do for $5 or for free with the Twitch Prime. You can also get gifted a sub if you're lucky. Vice! Oh my God. Oh yeah. If they had done that, they probably would be around today and not be fucking bankrupt. Oh wait, also, maybe not have such a expansive, insane, massive, multi-million-dollar operation. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. Ain't your stuff subsidized at least, unlike Vice? Wait, what do you mean? Subsidized by who? Nestor Perez, thank you for the 5 get the subs. Extra summons, thank you for the 5 get the subs as well.
Are going down fast. We'd like to.
Okay, we'll watch this after. Let's keep
Drug
going.
dealer now. Look at him, you could tell.
Like he's a drug dealer now.
He was a man who had next to nothing, but the real tragedy was not what he
I gotta
owned,
pee, I'll be back.
but what he had lost.
Un día llegaron 2 hombres al rancho y me dijeron que querían tomar posesión de nuestra tierra. Dice que para esconder sus drogas y yo les dije que no. No, los niños están ahí. Pero es que Felipe, no sé si está muerto o no.
What is it? I'm not really sure. Just look at the floor. Now, but look back at him.
Ustedes también tienen gentes que se las han llevado.
Yeah, no, we've lost friends too, Rhea and Rick and Sam, a lot of people to the urban farming boom. They left Brooklyn and went to Detroit.
We're happy to hear your story, and we're getting your story out there. And it's all drug money, and everything's built on drug money. And, your clothes are drug money, and this house is built on drug money.
Nosotros no hacemos drogas, te lo juro. Nosotros no
Manuel
hacemos...
wanted answers, and we wanted answers too, about El Chingon.
Government comes in and pays for drugs.
Who's that?
Son los hombres del chingón. Me han de haber escuchado que estaba hablando con ustedes.
All right, wait. Turn the light off. All right, so some guys who work for El Chigona outside. We're gonna talk to them, relate, get them to relax, and then maybe get some info out of them. Let's see how it goes. What's going on, fellas? How's it going?
Well, that didn't work.
They died.
So Kyle and John were dead. Luckily for us, they'd already recorded their voiceovers. But we still wanted to get to the bottom of this whole El Chingon stuff, so we brought in 2 more reporters who'd been off on other assignments. Trevor Kenny, who was in Alabama making omelets with a racist sorority.
Whoa! That was not cool.
And Bryce Bowen, who was in the Middle East where he was introducing the Syrian rebel forces to Mario Kart.
You're just driving. What time did that end?
We put Bryce and Trevor on the next flight to Juarez to pick up where their brothers in arms had left off. Back to the mean streets.
Here at Drones, we had a sneaking suspicion that John and Kyle were killed off because they were asking too many questions about the infamous drug lord, El Chingon. But that wasn't going to stop us from tracking down the man behind the legend.
We're gonna go meet this New York Times reporter and see what she knows about El Chingon, trade some secrets. Drowns. Yeah, we've been doing some research on El Chingon, and it turns out that he's like super oppressive to the people. I don't know, like Skeletor, Darth Vader or something.
like just an evil presence.
Yeah, it's funny. You'd think that the locals would be like really against him, but people here, they really love him. I mean, he's kind of a Robin Hood type figure to them. He provides for them in a way that their own government cannot.
But that's what you heard.
No, that's what I know. I've been doing research on it. The cartel has a really huge stronghold on this whole town. I mean, they've...
Like, as much as like New York Times is foreign coverage, a lot of times is like State Department cutout, State Department carve-outs. There is a very real element to like their news coverage versus like the way sometimes Vice and other sensationalist forms of media would do news coverage.
Fun festivals. They have a lot of bars. They have dangerous...
What is it? What's the name of the places?
The Caballo del Oro. Hacienda Corona.
So they're like touristy kind of places?
No, these are places you do not want to go, ever.
You should go there.
No. You guys do not want to go to that place. It is one of the most dangerous places. The cops don't want to go there.
To you.
To everybody.
But what if we... Well, I don't speak Spanish. Do you speak Spanish?
Well, exactly. You
Un
guys,
poquito.
no, I mean, the army won't go there.
The
Seriously,
army in
you
every
guys.
country is paid off. I've been everywhere.
No, I've done stuff too. You know, I went to Ukraine. They buried me up to my neck, and dudes took turns hitting me in the head with a golf club, and I was fine there.
I covered fist boxing in China. You know, it's where those just fist fighting, no boxing gloves, just a melee of men. You know, a group just like throwing punches, and that's their sport. And I was there to cover it. I got bruised, but...
I was embedded in Tunisia. They put me in a tent and they fattened me up, and then they just try to marry me off to
Why?
like one of the men. I got a kick-ass story out of it.
Wow.
I will go to that length.
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because we have the balls to go in there and do it.
Okay.
Like, this is extreme.
You understand you might die.
No, that's what someone told the guys before us.
Yeah.
And they're dead, and that's why we're here, but...
I don't know, guys. If you're gonna go, can I give you a name of a good fixer?
We already got somebody, and he's pretty sweet.
All right. Good luck to you.
Our fixer is none other than our good friend, streetwise rapper, Ty Dollar Sign.
Yeah. Oh.
Rolling with Ty gives you immediate cred, and as a bonus, it was his first time in Mexico.
It's got kind of a Deerwolf vibe to it, right?
Well, the music was a bit of a boner. So to make things interesting, we asked Ty to get up on stage for an all-out, no-holds-barred rap battle.
Rap battle against who? Them or you?
Yeah, go up. I think we should go check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna go up there, all right.
I think he's getting his drink.
I think he left. Do you want to do a battle? No! It was time to hit the dance floor. And thanks to our good buddies in the third world fashion scene, we were already rocking the freshest new styles. These are pointy boots. They're supposedly hugely popular here.
We wore them to mix in with the locals, but it doesn't look like anyone else is really wearing them. We look like a couple of chooches.
As the night went on, and we looked around the club a little more, we made an incredible discovery.
El Chigon, this is the guy we're looking for.
There were pictures of El Chigon everywhere. It turns out the people of Juarez actually love El Chigon. He's kind of a Robin Hood figure to them, a hero who provides for them in ways their government can't. Even the words to the song seemed to
I love that he just like repeated what the New York Times journalist
reflect
said there.
this.
So this band, what they're singing about, they're saying that this Chingon is a great guy, and he's really cool, and he can drink 6 to 8 beers a night and never get a hangover.
Spending a night in dangerous territory had been risky, but by doing so, we had won the trust of the locals. And now that trust was about to pay off.
All right, look, we met these guys inside. They're cops. They have some information on El Chigon. They're gonna tell it to us, but we can't bring the camera in the car, okay? But we've got our microphones on, so listen in, okay? Yeah. Check. Oh, sweet ride. So, fellas, what's up?
Oh, shit.
Trevor and Bryce's tragic end was confirmed in a letter from Ty Dollar Sign. Dear Drones, I think they melted your friends. And then these were delivered to the office. Hey, don't open that. Let's keep these, put them in the lounge, throw a couple coffee table books on them. All right? Mm-hmm. First John and Kyle, now Trevor and Bryce. Clearly someone in Mexico was sending us a message. But our work in Juarez was far from over. So we sent in 2 of our very best reporters. Lars Clegg, who was up in the frozen north investigating Mongolian horse pimps.
Hey, so how much is the horse?
And Denver MacGyver, I was deep in the Amazon for a little taste of an ancient tradition known as the burn circle.
Oh, really?
And this time, we weren't messing around.
We were ready to turn Juarez upside down to find El Chigon.
El Chigon!
Chigon, where are you?
El Chigon, where are you?
But as it turns out, tracking down the most wanted man in Mexico wasn't as easy as you might think.
¿Sabes o conoces un hombre que se llame El Chingon?
Luckily, we got hooked up with a local professoro who had some sweet insider information. Because knowledge is power.
Thanks for having us.
Hi, how are you? We're drones.
Hope you don't mind our camera guy.
It's Chris.
Everybody knows El Chingon lives somewhere in the foothills of Salves. That is why it's called the Salves Cartel.
Oh, Salves Cartel. Okay.
You reporters, you knew that already, right?
Yeah.
Right, no,
The
yeah,
foothills.
we know that. Yeah, we...
Salves.
Salves in the foothills.
Let's
And
go.
So if we just get...
No, wait. Promise me, do not go there. Even the police do not go to Salves.
Because...
Because if you go there, you will die. These guys don't play around.
But wait
They
a
won't-
minute.
Especially with a camera, they won't even ask any questions. You will be killed.
But that's the key. We do ask questions.
Okay, so you shouldn't go there then.
Foothills and Salves. All right.
Promise me you will not go there.
We promise we won't go.
We're walking for a couple hours. Should be pretty close to El Chigon's house.
There's no place to really walk. There's a lot of weeds. Weeds are a lot thicker than you think, a lot stronger.
And we're the only ones out here. New York Times isn't doing this.
I think New York Times did do a piece out here.
They did?
Yeah.
Well, cut that out.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
So how did we find El Chigon? Same way they found Bin Laden. We looked for the biggest house and knocked on the front door.
Gotta be the house. There's a dude. Hey, hi, we're from drones. You have...
We're okay, we're okay.
Well, we're good. We're cool. We're cool. We're cool. We're cool.
We're fine. We don't...
Hi. Hi.
Who are you?
We're from a show called Drones, with a Z. Put the camera up.
How did you find me?
We were just walking around, we saw the house.
We wanted to find you. Kind of what we do is we kind of find the craziest people, and we kind of just wanted an interview with you. And
This is our cameraman. This is Chris. We're
yeah, we're
unarmed,
fine. We're cool, and we just want to get to know the real you. That's a thing, that you are open, and you and your friends could be in it. All you guys can be in the.
We can interview everybody.
We can interview each and every one of you guys. You guys could be on the internet.
Okay.
What's up?
Okay.
Hey, okay.
Everything's working? Camera's good?
Holy shit.
All right.
Thank you. And thank you, man. Thanks. That was... All right.
We suddenly had unprecedented access into the life of the world's most dangerous drug trafficker. At first, it was invigorating.
Oh my God, I've never done this much coke in my life.
Yes, it did. What about Beth's barbecue?
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Right?
Chris, you gotta get on this. Here, I'll hold the camera.
Hit that shit, bro!
But as soon as we began walking in El Chigon's shoes, a strange logic emerged.
Woo! Hey man, that's some Fast and Furious man.
And as we unraveled the enigma, we learned so much about the real El Chigon. Like his middle name, which is Ignacio, which shortens to Nacho. It's pretty rad. Most importantly, we discovered that, deep down, this powerful kingpin is really just a fun dude who's into cool stuff. Like smoothies. A total partier with suave taste and a generous heart. We danced with his daughters, hung with his compadres, and fiested Mexican gangster style.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Dude, are you okay? You okay?
Things are going pretty good. We still haven't gotten that interview yet. I think El Chigon's gonna sit down with us pretty soon, and it's gonna be pretty great. But I mean, Juarez isn't that bad.
You have to speak up for the mic. I learned that from Chris.
Chris, you're a asshole, man. You're an animal, Chris. Drones. Drones.
We finally built up enough trust to sit down for our long-awaited interview with the man himself, El Chigon.
Thank you so much for making us feel so welcome. It's been an unbelievable experience. So I guess we could start doing this interview. So how do you decide who is going to be like a guard for you?
It all happened so fast. One of the deadliest raids in the history of the war on drugs. Afterwards, the cops searched the property, smoked out the survivors, but El Chigon was nowhere to be found. He was the stuff of legend, like an epic verse from one of their shitty polka songs.
What do I say? I mean, I have been embedded with the federal police for an entire year, and this is the biggest operation they've ever conducted. And apparently you guys are right in the middle of it. So that is, wow.
Go back in there. All the cocaine's still in there. What are you talking about? All the cocaine's still in there. Who cares? You can't just leave it in there. Come on. We're lucky. What do you mean we're lucky? Where are we gonna go? We're gonna get arrested. We'll die. That's nuts.
Drones.
Nice work, boys. We're all really stoked about your next piece on vodka dicking. You put your dick in some vodka and get super wasted on another can't-miss episode of Drones. Oh, yeah. That's good beef. Kobe beef straight from Tokyo.
I mean, that was, in my opinion, one of the greatest examples of Vice. I like this is Kobe beef from Tokyo.